Hey, this is Linz, and you are watching Support the Scene.
Hey, this is Jade from Support the Scene. I'm here with two amazing, talented musicians. Why don't you introduce yourselves to those who don't know you?
Well, hello. We are the band When and Where. My name is Randy Lee. I'm the lead singer. Faisal.
Yeah, hi, I'm Faisal Mirza, and I'm the guitarist for When and Where.
Awesome.
Not with us tonight. We have Rong on drums and James on bass. They couldn't join us, but...
Now, how did the band form? What's the history?
I actually started, I'd been looking for a band, and rather than waiting for the right band to come along to suit my schedule, I decided to start looking for a musician. So it originally started as a cover band. I knew a different bass player who knew a drummer, and then Faisal's wife and I actually worked in film together. So we all met up and jammed a bunch, and there was one practice when the other drummer and the bass player were outside. Faisal asked if we wanted to do some original music. So Faisal and I started writing, and we got a couple songs in and decided to keep going with that. Unfortunately, the bass player and the drummer at the time weren't into doing originals. They wanted to just do a cover band. So we just dove into writing for a little while, and then finally started to look for members to start, having our songs be brought to life with more musicians. That was like at the end of 2019. And then right when we found another bass player and another drummer, COVID hit.
COVID, right.
Yeah. So it's been a journey to get us to where we are now, having to take long chunks of time off. And then, the bass player got married and went back to work and bought a house, and, life happened. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like a very interesting start. So, have you played any shows? Do you have any shows coming up? What's coming up?
So we did the gig at Pub 340, which is really sad that place doesn't exist anymore. That was a little acoustic set we did at the beginning of 2020. But because of COVID, we dove into the recording process with you, Jade. And now that we have those 5 tracks, we're going to start looking for where our some gigs might start happening. We're putting our feelers out right now. And we're just kind of getting all our ducks in a row to start getting out there and sharing our music. That's
awesome. Now, speaking of the recordings, you have an album that's going to be coming out pretty soon. Do you have, can you describe the sound of it?
Faisal, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, because I usually start off writing the music to it, and I just use Logic Pro to just put my tracks together. I'm nowhere near as proficient as you, Jade, on Logic Pro. I just put a drum track that's got like Alex or some guy named Kyle, and I just put it on top, and then I send it off to the band, and then we work on it. I guess I like indie pop rock. I'm not sure. I've heard surf rock also been referred to us, but I don't really know. Amanda, anything to add to that?
I think we definitely have a very 90s grunge kind of down to a lot of our tracks too. So, they all are a little bit different, but yeah, indie alt rock, 90s-esque, surfer grunge rock. Very curious to see what people think, and once they start hearing our songs, kind of what bands come to mind for them. So yeah, it's going to be part of the journey, is just being how do people interact with our music?
Yeah, and I like when we played 12 Kings a couple of days ago, that was somebody said, I really like this song, and I really like this song. It's like, oh, it's so nice to have people actually like her music. But in some of the stuff that I play, I guess when I was playing guitar, I started off playing guitar in the 80s, and started listening to a lot of Judas Priest and things like that. And sometimes that comes through in my playing, but and then Van Halen, and then there's one song that we wrote called Dent, and I had to put some finger tapping in it as well, and it's taken a while to do that. So I think it's kind of hard to explain us. When we go through all of our set, you'll realize that it is a bit of a mixed bag. I don't know, Mandy, anything to add to that?
No, that's pretty vague, but also descriptive, all at the same time.
Yes.
That's awesome. Now, when you're moving forward, so you have more songs. How many songs do you have written?
Oh, we've got about 20 songs now.
Mm-hmm.
We've got our first kind of set list put together. I think has 14 songs on it right now, and then a couple more in the wings that we're still working on, but I'd say after a couple more practices on them, we'd be kind of ready to start sharing them. And then, what do you think? Like 5 or 6 still in the drive that we've not even touched or visited for years now. So there's quite a bit in the works, and quite a bit we've got started already.
Yeah, I've been told by the drummer to stop releasing songs because I write a lot, and when I'm inspired, I can't help it. So like I could, sometimes you probably have this too, Jade, where you just get inspired and you just songs just write themselves, right? So I have to let it happen. You cannot deny the process.
You can't deny the creativity.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? What are your social medias?
We are on Instagram. We're When and Where the Band. We're also on Facebook under the same name. We have a YouTube channel with one song that we recorded a while ago at the beginning of COVID. So it's like a demo track called Ex Nihilo. So we're When and Where on YouTube.
Love
and
it.
Hazel's in the works of we're starting to get a website together. So hopefully in the next little while, I'll be able to share a website with people so they have all of that information kind of condensed, and they can find out when and where to come check us out.
Love it. Now, is that like how the band name, how did the band name come around?
We originally had a different name. We called ourselves 246 originally. I tend to be a much more serious, deep writer with what I like to write, and Faisal is very whimsical. So we tried to find a name that kind of works for both of those things. So 246 was like a joke about all the streets in Vancouver where you go up over the Granville Street Bridge and it's like East 2nd, West 4th, West 6th. But it's not a story that really landed with people. They're like, oh, okay. So we went into a big brainstorming. I think at one point we had 60 suggestions with all these crazy different band name generators.
Yeah, I love going on that. The random band name generator was always a lot of fun. Pretty much we never used any of them, but it was still fun.
So I think eventually, I don't even know how, when, and where it came up, but it still is a kind of a fun play, and being able to be like, oh, what band are you going to see on Saturday? Well, when and where?
Exactly. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining. We'll have all your links down below, and hope you have a great day.
Thanks, Jade. Okay, see you, Mandy.
problem.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. This is Support the Scene. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, follow, and share.